Hello, and welcome back, everyone. How are you all doing? It's me. Um, so I have been barely posting, as you guys have definitely noticed. I've taken a break. Actually, I guess in Gautarside terms, should have pretty much graduated back in 2013, like what, 4 years ago. But I kind of went against my team's wishes, the LM22 team, if you will, to, I don't even know which verb to use. Oh my gosh. Cater my time to, donate my time to, volunteer my time to assist, help, whatever, to a group, because I just believe that, like, it was something that resonated with my soul and it bit me in the ass. Long story short. Um, kind of dedicating some time to individuals where it's like, you know what, I believe in your group. I don't care for the ass kissing. I don't care for like, oh my gosh, you're my idol. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing, so perfect. Just to be like, oh, you suck. I'm gonna stab you or whatever. That type of thing. Or even just like, oh, let me just tell you that you're awesome, that you're like a celebrity in your community, and like all the stuff is like that shit doesn't mean anything to me. Like it just kind of goes right over my head. Cause I'm like, I'm just having fun. I'm just doing me. Okay, that sounds like kind of weird. But just, enjoying myself. I'm participating, I'm commenting, I'm talking to people and stuff like that. But to just be like, oh, like you're so awesome and like you're so this, you're so that, like it makes me cringe. I understand that if someone is authentic with that, like it really means something. It's like, wow, like they see the hard work that's being put into it. They understand it. They know, instead of just like, oh, I'm just saying this just to say it, just to get close to you, just to call you a hoe or something, or belittle you or disrespect you in your presence because, I don't actually care. I see that you're a threat to my well-being, that, like only one person can be liked. And, it's like, what is that old Western, like, this town ain't the big enough for the both of us type of thinking. And I just find that so stupid. Like, no one's better than someone else. If someone's putting in the hard work, of course, things are going to happen than just sitting on your ass or whatever. Also, drink responsibly, guys. Drink responsibly. I mean, like, I'm not your mom, and I know some of you guys don't listen to your parents anyway, but, don't drink and drive at minimum. Like, please. But, I don't know, I'm just gonna, like, be rambling, just verbal streams. And things didn't pan out. It's like, why waste my time to people who are disrespectful and whatnot, who are showing that they're disrespectful, who like feel like this is a game for them, or just like, who the fuck cares about you? And just knowing that there's people like that in the world, there's all sorts of people. But, it's like, should I have given my time to someone else who I feel is more worthy at the end of the day? Am I that person to make that decision? Like, could I have been putting my time to something that is a lot more important, per se? And then that makes me think, like, am I saying that this person is less worthy than someone else? This person is less important than someone else. But that's neither here or there. But, yeah, it's just been kind of interesting. I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's like, that's like, you are choosing little old me to belittle, even though like what if I'm like a secret millionaire or something? I'm like, what group do I want to invest my funds in, or like my time and my expertise? And you're belittling me into my face. You're lying to me constantly over like almost 10 years, and it's just like okay, I see how this is. And it kind of makes me feel like Cinderella, like, oh, you're the stepsister, nobody gives two shits about you, but then it's like, I don't know, maybe my graduation was like my ball or something, I don't know. But it's just been very interesting, kind of just watching people's, in the things that comes out their mouth. I know I'm not perfect. I look back on my shit all the time and just like, maybe I could have been a little bit nicer. Maybe I could have spoken up a little bit more. Maybe I could have done X, Y, and Z differently. Like I didn't have to keep friends or people in my life that are disrespecting my time, disrespecting relationship boundaries. Like you don't say that you're a friend and try to, overstep boundaries with someone else. You don't say, like, yeah, I want you to be on my team, but you're steady cutting them down and making them feel like shit, I guess, to have them have a mental break now, since that's been on the tip of someone's tongue for so long. And, like, I used to blog a lot. Like, I was very consistent. I was uploading stuff and here, there, and everywhere, going to school and doing this, just, like all the fucking shit, like balancing so much. And of course I burned myself out. I burned myself down. But also having people claim besties and friends and whatnot when they can't even live up to the fucking term, like it's been a really interesting journey. And to not even be uploading during those times, but then it's like, okay, well, it was just, like, it was like something like a scrapbook, like, hey, I'm hanging out with these people that I think are so cool and awesome, like, look at the cool stuff that's happening in Chicago, look at me hang out with all these cool people, and then these cool people, are treating me like shit. And it's just kind of, it's interesting, I guess. But, like, I don't know, I've been debating on a lot of things. I mean, like, I have a lot of other priorities in my life right now that I'm needing to take care of. I'm not saying that dedicating time to making YouTube videos or makeup. I mean, like, my makeup generally stays roughly the same unless I do a transition, like doing Mamba makeup and then maybe going to Bamba and maybe like special occasion Mamba makeup or something, or this is, this type of style, and, like, definitely the changes, but, or, taking the time out to like greet new gals and gallo that are coming in and like, oh, like this outfit is cool, like, have you thought, like maybe this, and hopefully doing it in a respectful way, not to like, I understand having come from being vouched for and chosen to be in a gal circle that has this aura about it or whatever, but it's like, at least for me, like putting in the hard work and doing great work, doing, like putting forth that effort and stuff, and just like, I'm awesome, you guys suck, lose, like that's what I wasn't about. But of course, everybody has their own interpretations of that, of the circle. People are like, oh, I'm scared because scared to come to your event, or nervous because of the circle that you and another girl was in. I'm just like, no, like, come on, we're chill. At least I'm chill. I don't know about these people. I can't speak for those. But, I understand that the name and the clout or whatever you want to call it, can definitely have a different perception in different people's minds. You know, not a lot of people think and ask questions. They just think and assume without taking consideration of like, how do these individual people feel about this? You know, PewDiePie has said, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. You know, it's really clever. I really like that. And it's true. You know, like I can assume, let's say I'm not myself, you know, like, oh, Alicia, you know, she looks like such a bitch in her picture because she doesn't smile. Well, I'm assuming that she's a bitch in those pictures. You know, I'm seeing these pictures, I'm thinking that she's a bitch, but, you know, like, is she, you know, like, why doesn't she like to smile? Maybe she thinks her smile is stupid looking, you know, like, or maybe, whatever, things like that, I guess. But, you know, that part was interesting. You know, like, I hope that maybe I did help and inspire people with styles and, like, not being afraid to be a person of color. Not only going to a school filled with mostly white people, and also being a person of color, blogging and YouTubing, and also being an alternative fashion person. That sounds kind of weird, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But, you know, like, I can see that being inspiring, but just, you know, like, fashion isn't just the end all be all or looking pretty. You know, I feel like I look pretty average. You know, maybe I'll take a good selfie, I guess. Usually look of the draw. But, you know, just, it's just interesting, you know, like, coming into it with my own perception and just like, okay, well, being like this ugly duckling and, you know, I guess kind of glowing up or something, or people just like, oh, you know, like, you must be so cool. And also I'm just like, you know, I play video games and stuff, you know, like, I probably read way too much and like all this other things that usually people will be like, especially back in an older website community, you know, it was like, some people are like, oh, you know, like, you play video games and you want to do that all, like, you can't do that. But, you know, like, I am just me and I kind of like the fashion style. I like the boldness of it after thinking that it was like very scary. But, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling now, but it's just interesting. It's interesting feeling very alone and being alone with groups of people who are like, yeah, you know, we're friends. But it's like the mean girl. It's like, oh, like, I like your skirt. Oh, that's the ugliest skirt I've ever seen, or whatever. And things like that. And it just kind of depressed me, especially being in a group with mostly POC, people of color, mostly black people, and whatnot, and them just, you know, treating me with disrespect, you know, like, the minimal effort for respecting another human being was almost like non-existent. And it's just like, and that's something that I talked about very openly throughout the years, because I just, at that time, just wholeheartedly believe that, like, you know, things are gonna work out, you know, like, this is gonna be a friendship, you know, like, they'll learn and like things will get better. And it's just like, oh, you're not sticking up for yourself, you're not, you didn't kick this person's ass or whatever to show them like you can't do this type of thing, or all these other bits that be like, okay, you crossed this boundary, you disrespected me fully and completely, I am not going to be cordial with you. You do not deserve my respect back, type of way that a lot of other people would have handled the situation. And I dropped the ball on that one. You know, like, you show people how you want to be treated. And it's like, you can go up and like do this, that, and the other, and like, she won't do anything. And I did not want to seem mean or callous or rude, to just be like, okay, well, I don't want to talk to you because you did this. I don't want to talk to you. But then at the end of the day, like, some things, it's like, things just don't fly. You know, like, if I go up and push someone out of their chair or whatever, that person has the right to not be my friend. You know, if I, you know, like, things like that, you know, like, some things it's like you can kind of bounce back from and be like, you know what, that was a slight misunderstanding, we're all good. You know, some things it's like, you know what, no. And it is what it is. Well, I mean, that's like such a bullshit excuse. But you know, like, people aren't entitled to your respect. And for those who are shy, those who are so scared to like lose people in their lives for whatever reason, granted that they won't just hold on to someone and also be like, oh, I'm smiling in your face, but I'm also going to stab you in the back afterwards because of some personality disorder or whatever. You just, like, if someone is disrespecting you, abusing you and stuff like that, like, you need to find that power within yourself, the love within yourself, then giving your love out to all these people who almost don't deserve it. You know, like, you're not here to fix them. And maybe I'm just saying this to just kind of like reiterate this in my own head, but I know that there's people out there who may be similar to myself, who may be struggling with like, okay, well, I have a friend and you know, I'm getting all this energy towards them, you know, like I'm trying to help them out and try to do this and try to do that. And they're like laughing at me and they're just like treating me like shit, like a punching bag or whatever. And, you know, like sometimes you gotta let people go, you know, either state, you know, what you can tolerate or deal with, or just like walk away. But, you know, I never meant to seem better than anyone else. You know, I'm learning, I'm growing too. I don't know, like, it's just, it's a funny, like, interesting journey, but like the irony of it, I guess. But for those who even watch this video to the end, thank you so much for still being here. You know, maybe I should have spoke up sooner. Maybe things would have panned out a lot differently, you know, in this year. You know, if I was just like, you know what, you know, like, before I let this get any worse, you know, bye. You know, and that's like with, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, 8, a good 8 or so people, like a good chunk. Yeah, that's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot to even be deemed. I guess one person was saying this jokingly, like, oh, you're the Beyonce of, you know, the gal community, the black gal community. I'm like, no, you know, Beyonce is pretty rich. You know, she can drop an album and like people buy it, you know, like, I guess I'm flattered that you can say something like that, I guess. But, you know, like, it's just a lot of fucking hard work and like tunnel vision, just like, do I have a life outside of this, you know, like, you know, and it's not like to put other people down, you know, like my blog and stuff, like, I was hoping that there'll be like a lot of fun times and like hosting like so many events and meetups and like collaborating with these people and these over here. Just like, you know what, it's on and popping in Chicago. Let's get shit happening. Then, oh, you know, I'm working with this person and they're undermining me, and this person is this person's lackey and they're backstabbing me, and, you know, they're going off in my private life. We're talking to this person and that person, and wow, you guys, you know, like, the gal community, like, you guys are really shit. You know, like, wow. You know, like, I probably gave you guys too many chances, but I mean, that's judging. You know, like, they could be dealing with all sorts of issues, mental issues, personality issues, issues at home, issues here and there and everywhere. But I also feel like there's always a way to go about things, and always room for growth and improvement. Always growth, room for kindness and compassion and love for your fellow person, especially in these times. Maybe people just feel so out of it where it's like, you know, who gives a fuck if I hurt someone who actually probably cares about me and, you know, wants the best for me, you know, like who really cares. But, you but I mean, I'm still do me to the best of my ability, do better than I don't know, like is that another video? Like, I don't know, but like, it's just interesting. Dealing with people just literally triggering you all the fucking time with things like, oh, let's joke about her doing cocaine and stuff. And it's like, you know, why don't you just shut the fuck up? You know, like, you're hurting my feelings. You are just being very callous. You know, I had a lady was like, oh, you know, I know this kind of looks like cocaine or whatever. And I'm like, I kind of want to bash your head into that wall right now. You know, like, that's terrible, but it's just like, but yet you want to be like, oh, we're friends, right? You know, this bullshit. Or I was seeing a guy who was actually really abusive, to be honest. He dropped me off at home and he was like, oh, it looks like I can get cocaine over here. And it's like, really? You know, you another black person being shitty towards someone else just because you want to feel better than? No, like, a lot, like, I've dealt with like a lot of fucking shit with people. Like, people aren't even worth my time. But I guess, you know, their head gets a little big, that ego kind of goes whatever, and they just think that like they're not of this planet or like anything else. And you know, they could treat anybody any type of way just so they can feel better about themselves because they're dealing with issues that they don't even want to fix. So I don't know, it's kind of a tangent. But you know, like, I don't think that I'm better than anyone else. I know that there's people who work hard, people who work harder, you know, and even if I am fucking working hard, it's like, am I working smart? You know, like, I'm tiring myself out doing 10 million things, and it's like, okay, I'm actually learning, I know I can do it, but am I actually pushing things as far as, you know, they can go? But I don't know. It's just, I'm very disappointed in people. And I try not to be disappointed in people. I try not to give people really high expectations. Most of the time, you know, like, if you don't expect things out of people, you won't become disappointed. I think I learned that from the House TV show, because I used to watch House a lot. But, you know, it's just like, wow, you can't even be a decent human being. It's like, are you being paid to be a shitty person? You know, like, are you being paid to like snoop in my stuff? Are you being paid to say that we're besties online, but yet we don't have that we don't even have a decent friendship connection IRL? You know, like, are you being paid? You know, is the game controller like your prize to backstabbing me, or like, you know, disrespecting my boundaries and all of that? But I mean, I guess it's their prerogative. You know, I guess they're just so thirsty for the likes and some validation that they'll just like backstab and do all that stuff towards someone where it's like, you know, like, she's better, you know, like, she has to go down. And it's like, I'm just trying to fucking have fun in Chicago. You know, like, I'm actually thinking that you're a pretty cool person, and I guess not anymore, you know. You know, like, I'm just trying to help out, you know, collaborate with people, assist people, support people. And it's like, not necessarily biting the hand that feeds, but it's like, what type of phrase would that be? Like, you have a friend shooting herself in the foot. Not really. I don't know. I'm not sure. But, you know, it's like, oh, you know, like, this person is doing their own thing and they're taking the time out to work on my project when they don't have to, when it's not even going to pay off anything. They're not really getting anything from it, technically. I don't really want to give them anything for it, technically. But yet they're still helping because they see something in the mission, and I'm still going to treat them like shit. I'll turn everyone against them, and it's just, that's real life. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was just like a bad dream, but I'm just laugh it off, like, wow, like that's really pathetic. Yeah. But anyway, I know that this thing similar has happened to other people because people are like, oh, this person is so awesome, let's cut them down, tall poppy syndrome or whatever. Someone cannot be, or like people are like, oh, I can only be the special one, no one else can be special than me, no one can be greater, I might not be taking the time out to actually do the things to be great, but, this person can't be great at all, like it can be crazy out here, like maybe I need to find a term that's better, but it's definitely not normal, and I know normal is kind of like, what is normal? But, at the end of the day, some things, like, I don't know, like, some things just are way out there, I guess. Everybody's different, but some things are just like, nah, but, I mean, whatever. Anyway, this video is like hella long. Thank you for watching if you watched to the end. I don't know, maybe I should put like some Easter egg or something in it, or, like, I don't know. Something cool. I don't know. I mean, like, I failed on so many giveaways because I was just like, like, what if whatever I have suck? Like, I am terrible at gift giving. I, don't want someone to be like, oh, well, this is it. And it's like, okay, you're so ungrateful. Like, damn, like, but, like just something just to show my appreciation over the years, because there's been so many of you guys that, are like, oh, like I miss, like your style, like your channel and everything, or, people like been reading my dumb, silly, goofy blog, and it meant a lot to me, just to, have my voice heard and to chat with so many different people, and see so many inspiring people at that too, people who have gotten way more views than me, doing their thing, who have, kind of made like YouTube their career, or who have furthered their schooling and stuff, and working in awesome jobs and things like that. And it's just like, wow, like I'm honored to know you guys. Honored to know people who are a little bit more creative than me with their style, and that part of this journey has been amazing. Not saying that I can't learn from anything that has happened, but I mean, like, okay, fashion, it's very subjective. Some people are like, I'll go outside in like wrinkly clothes and like, who gives a fuck type of thing. But at least at the time, like, okay, well, if these people are here for this type of advice or this type of growth and improvement, like we're not sitting down to like tutor about math or something. But, like seeing people grow and get better, maybe they found a different fashion style or something that they like, and things like that, or like they're having fun or doing things, and like that is what matters to me, like that makes me happy deep down inside. Just this weird, awkward, goofy, clumsy person, kind of being less, with a little bit awkward, goofy, and clumsy, and just seeing that, like seeing other POC, having like amazing style and like funny content and stuff. It's just like, this is amazing, But I digress, because this is almost 30 minutes. It is 29:16. I might try to cut it down, but it still probably be in the 20s. But thank you. Thank you for listening to me. I know I've been kind of, like I know stuff or things, And I know I haven't been updating as much as I've even wanted to, even to change my channel. But you can hold it against me. You don't have to hold it against me. I kind of hold it against myself because, like it was something that I wanted to do, and I tried to hold myself accountable for those things. But, sometimes things happen. But thank you for, those long years. Thank you for reading my posts. Thank you for critiquing my own style and giving me the not only criticism but constructive criticism. Because anybody could be like, "Oh, your hair sucks," or like, "Oh, let me make a sneak diss at her." Like, okay, well, maybe, like try this out differently, or this that, and the other. Like, oh, maybe something else. And it's like I appreciate it. Like I'm not above someone saying like, hey, like maybe this type of clothing style will fit better or whatever else, so that's always there. And like, thank you, like I was a beginner at one point, I know that sometimes I'm a little derpy, or maybe I don't know how to do all of the things, and I don't know, I just appreciate it. Life is tough. And we have to try to find happiness and joy in something, and hopefully it, at least to me, that it is in something that's actually constructive and it benefits more, like all of us can grow and like be happy authentically. Like things are helpful, then like, oh, like this is only helpful because someone else is hurting, because you don't know what the hell they're going through either. But I don't know, I digress. Thank you. I know that things aren't like how they used to be, and that's not a bad thing. Times change, and just take care of yourself, Yeah. Bye. Until next time, hopefully.